All right, what's going on, everybody? I was just listening to Tesla Spaces and realized I'm coming up on the one failure condition for the first failed customer trip. It's actually right here. This one I categorize as a maps issue because we need to proceed down the 163 north. And the proper way to initially do it is to follow this sweeping left here. But for some reason, Maps doesn't recognize that. This time, we're not in the lane that would force us that way. For this scenario, it can take either direction. The reason for the failure is because it was in this lane to our left right up until like the split of the two white lines and started to get jolty like it was going to cut over. That is an uncomfortable and unnecessary scenario that I'm not going to subject my customers to, and it's why I consider it a failure. And I had put it under Maps, which may not have been entirely correct. I would probably now categorize that as a staging problem because it knew, based on the map, that it wanted to take this route. Let's see what happens, though. Because we can still take the left. They basically wanted to do what that Tesla did. Because you would take this left to either go 163 or to the right, take the 5 north, which you'll see. And I think, yes, we are trying to take the 163 north to go charge at Fashion Valley, and then I can get back to the customer stuff. But this turn that we just passed, right here where that car is just passing there, is where it started to shudder like it was going to move. And I took over for the sake of the comfort of my customers who were having a good conversation. 3 people, 1 up front, 2 in the back. It was a good time. Not safety related, not something I consider critical, just a sort of dumb fluke that needs to be resolved. I wish it had just been in this lane and gone left, because this is still fine. We can take, as you'll see, turning the corner now, the 163 portion or the 5, and kind of all come up together. Whereas this little runoff road to our left is sort of a way to bypass that light and just go. Right before this, which I didn't have my cameras on in time to catch, by the time you see this, I'll have hopefully uploaded the customer video that showed it failing on that corner. But this time, I actually changed the navigation on approach, and it did it properly. We were projected to go straight through, and I changed it. I went out and selected the second route up to 163 instead of the 5 to see what would happen. And it executed beautifully, following that sweeping left, which up to this point has been the only sort of pattern that I'd recognized in failure conditions on version 12 city streets. But it was also the first time each time experiencing those maneuvers. And I don't know that I want to put the term resolved over it, but I will be observing it more, because if it doesn't ever fail it again, then I can consider that part of the teething process that FSD will go through as it kind of learns things. This is why I wish that we had the city streets auto speed stuff going on, because right now we're kind of doing the whole traffic flow thing on the version 11 highway side, but we're going pretty slow. I'm going to tap our speed to bump that up, which now will put us kind of back where we want to be. We're going way too slow there. I look forward to that being on the same end-to-end neural net, just to flow better, because the city street side's been great. But I wanted to bring up this as a quick video to show that turn, and to show the system properly executing the way it would have been a success for that customer. Or if it had mapped properly the sweeping left, to go ahead and take that, which it did on the other failure that I was just talking about that it seemed to correct today. So that is a very jumbled way of talking about failures that seem to be better, which is exciting, because that is the only reason we're not at 100% success rate. We're at 93.3 roughly, because 2 failures out of 30. So 28 trips, 28 successes over 30 trips. So simple division, divide 28 by 30 and you get your percentage of success, which is around 93%. Otherwise, with those 2 gone, it would be 100%. With 1 of them gone, it'd be up to 97%. I expect we'll climb above that 93%. Version 12 will officially be the record holder for both number of trips and success rate completed with each one. As long as the highway stuff doesn't continue to get janky. It's been fortunate that the highway issues I've experienced have not been with a customer, but it'll only be so lucky for so long before that does end up being a disqualifying factor, similar to the glare and the red wheel disengagement. But I'm going to go ahead and conclude that there. We're just going over to Fashion Valley to charge real quick. You know, I'll let the rest of the video play. Won't necessarily commentate. If you want to check it up, we'll see how the system handles actually getting in. I do like this a lot because this route we're on will do a U-turn, and it has done this U-turn successfully before. So Yeah, I'll scratch it. Yeah, we'll just leave it on, and we'll see what happens. We'll go all the way to the supercharger. I've got the spaces going on in my ears, which is why I got my earbuds in. I was gonna speak and give some thoughts on version 12 when it first started, but I don't think I'll be speaking in the spaces, which is fine. It's fine. All good. If you know, you know. But we'll see. We'll see. I've got the volume up a little bit just in case they want my thoughts on what's going on. I will, in this video, I guess, talk on something. I was going to try to piggyback off of something Omar said in the spaces about the percentage of energy use of renewables now, which he said, and he hedged that he didn't have the number in front of him, but, you know, I think this is accurate, that it's 80 to 90% of the world's energy was renewable over this last year, I think is how he put it. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to misrepresent what he said. But I found that was really cool, and it speaks to something that I've had conversations with. I've told people, I think it was in 2020 or 21, where we officially crossed the threshold of having 50% renewable energy for the United States, as a caveat. So I've had a lot of conversations with customers that are skeptical about the transition to electric, that, you know, we just can't support it. Our grid will crash. And I've tried to explain to those customers that, make sure, okay, we're recording good. I was trying to explain to those customers anytime they're in the car that it is a needless thought experiment, a waste of your mental energy to assume any type of reality where everything's all of a sudden electric and crashing our infrastructure. To Omar's point about the world's use of energy being over 80%, even if it was 70%, but over 80% renewable, that shows you how the scale is shifting and how infrastructure is growing with the transition to electric. A lot of skeptics are worried about a system crashing because they're not realizing, they don't have these numbers, they're not following these things, and I think it's on a lot of us to spread the message out, you know, let them know, like, no, the entire industry is shifting. It's never going to be immediate. It's just not how things work in the real world. You can have the thought experiment, and yeah, if everything was electric right now with no change, boom, grid crashes, we're screwed. It's just not how it works, man. You got to be realistic. You got to apply reality to your model, which is that to the point of what's happening, and again to Omar's point, it is all transitioning, and very quickly. The infrastructure will be able to proceed and handle the transition to electric. I have no doubt, because people know we're going to need this infrastructure. They're not just sitting on their laurels just like, whatever, we'll see what happens. No, industries are making these moves already, but a lot of people don't know about it. So I think that was a really cool thing that did come up on the spaces that I wanted to bring up on the spaces, but I'll bring up here at least so that you guys can see it. Maybe quote it out of the video or start a discussion on it. It is really amazing. And I have not, you know, verified the source of this, but I do trust that. I have no reason to doubt the world's renewable use has grown that much. That is exciting as hell. And there is a brand new Model 3. That might be the one here at Fashion Valley that's part of the, Oh, there's a beautiful red one. Oh, these might be test drive cars or new deliveries. It's hard to say. Starting to see these Model 3s get me really excited. All right, here we go, guys. U-turn time. Let's go. No throttle needed. And bam. Like a pro. That should be about it. I don't think I've heard that anyone's wanted to call me up on the spaces. We'll see. Might be fun to drop in after making this video. But that was really good. I'm really excited to see how this is going. I haven't had any cases yet where it's wanted to park for me, aside from like street parking itself at the house. Oh, it's fine, because it just sort of like pulled up and everything's cool. This Audi just doesn't care. Whatever. FSD's handling it beautifully. After I get done charging here, we will get back to the customer reactions, hopefully, at least the customer videos. RoboTaxi ride-alongs will come along with the actual customer reactions. The ride-along videos will either be voiced over by me at certain points, if I have the time to do so. That does add quite a bit of labor to the videos, or it might just be showing it operating in the background as literally a ride-along. So they might not be as immediately as exciting, but good videos to bookmark to show the progress of FSD handling these drives. And I'm gonna take over because it's wanting to turn too soon there. That's fine. Parking lot stuff is still a little janky. We'll see, but let's go ahead and get charged up, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Oh man, there's so many new Model 3s over here now.